Hello, welcome to my student support system. In today's class, we will discuss about drug administration or giving medication to the patient. This is a vast topic and we will cover it in different lectures. This is part 1 and in this lecture we will discuss about the introduction or important clues about drug administration. This lecture is in English. And if you want to study in Hindi, just click on I button and you will get link of Hindi lecture, or you can directly visit to channel My Student Support System. Let us start. Medication are the substances prescribed by the client's prescribing practitioner or physician to help in treatment, relief or cure of the cause of the client's health alteration or illness or in the prevention of such alterations. Nurses play an important role in the administration of the drugs, education about the drugs and evaluation of effectiveness of the prescribed medication. Medication administration requires specialized knowledge, judgment and nursing skill based on the principles of pharmacology. That's why in nursing subjects we also study pharmacology. The focus of this lecture is to assist the nursing students in applying the principles of pharmacology in acquiring skills in the safe administration of medications. What is pharmacokinetics? The pharmacokinetics refers to the study of absorption, distribution, metabolism and excretion of the drugs to determine the relationship between the dose of a drug and the drug's concentration in the blood and biological fluid. What is absorption of drug? The degree and rate of absorption or passage of a drug from the site of administration into the bloodstream depend on several factors such as the drug's physiochemical effects, its dose form, its route of administration, its interaction with other substances or other medicines or in the digestive system, and patient's various characteristics such as age and weight. Oral preparations such as tablets and capsule must first disintegrate into smaller particles for the gastric juices to dissolve them and prepare the drug for final absorption in small intestine. Drugs administered intramuscularly are absorbed through the muscles into bloodstream. Suppositories are absorbed through the mucous membrane into the blood. Intravenous drugs are immediately bioavailable because of their direct injection into the blood to produce a drug effect. And sublingual medications are absorbed more quickly than the subcutaneous injection. So different routes have their different absorption speed. Now distribution of the drug. Distribution refers to the movement of drug from the blood into various body fluids or tissues. The rate at which the drug reaches to the specific site of action is affected by blood flow, cell membranes permeability and protein binding capacity of the medicine. Metabolism of the drug. The process of metabolism, also known as blood transformation, refers to the physical and chemical processing of the drug. In metabolism, the drug is inactivated and changed into water-soluble compound that can be excreted by the body after action. The liver is primary source of biotransformation or metabolism of the drug. Excretion. Excretion is the process in which the drugs are eliminated by the body. Factors that affect the kidney's ability to excrete the drug include maturity of the kidney, circulation and disease. As kidney function decreases due to any disease, there can be accumulation of the drugs in our body which results in toxicity. Preparations and route of drugs. Drugs are available in many forms for administration by specific route, such as oral route, parenteral route. The nurse should be aware of the various drug forms and how they are administered. Certain drug preparations require special consideration regarding administration. Drugs prepared for administration by one route should not be substituted by the other drug forms. For example, when a client has difficulty in swallowing a large tablet or capsule, the nurse should not administer an oral solution, syrup or elixir of the same drug without first consulting the prescribing practitioner or physician, because a liquid may be more easily or completely absorbed, producing a higher blood level than the tablet. First we will discuss about oral routes, the drugs which are given by oral routes. Most drugs are administered by oral route because it is the safest and most convenient and least expensive method. The disadvantage of the oral route is that it is slower acting than the other routes. Oral route drug forms includes tablets. These are compressed molded substances to be swallowed whole, sometimes chewed before swallowing, or placed in the buccal pocket or under the tongue. So these are the tablets. Then capsules. Capsules are in which the substances are encased either in a hard or soft soluble container or gelatin shells that dissolve in the stomach. Caplets, gelatin coated tablets that dissolve in the stomach. Powder or granules, these are finely ground substances. Troches, lozenges and pastils, similar preparations of drugs which are designed to dissolve in the mouth. Entry coated tablets, the coated tablets that dissolve in the intestine only. Time release capsules, encased substances that are further enclosed in smaller casings that deliver a drug dose over an extended period of time. And sustained release, the compound substances designed to release a drug slowly to maintain a steady blood medication level for a longer time. Syrups, it is made to change the taste of the medicine. It is a thick, sweet liquid often made by adding boiling sugar and water or sometimes fruit juices. Elixirs, these are sweetened hydroalcoholic, means water and alcohol combination liquids for the oral use with medicines. Typically alcohol and water are used as solvents when the drugs are not soluble only in water. Now we come to the drug forms which are prepared for parenteral route. Parenteral means the introduction of medication by any route other than oral gastrointestinal route. However, medical use of this term refers to injecting the medication into the body tissue. It includes intradermal, subcutaneous, intramuscular, intravenous, intrathecal or intraspinal, intracardiac, intrapleural, intraarterial and intra-articular injections. Preparations include ampoules, single dose vials or multi-dose vials. Then topical route preparations. Topical means just applying over the skin or mucous membrane. The most topical drugs are given to deliver a drug at or immediately beneath the point of application, means where we apply, just it will work just under the skin. Other tropical drugs, although the large number of tropical drugs are applied to the skin, but some are applied on other tissues or mucous membrane, such as eyes, nose, throat, ear, rectal and vaginal preparations. Tropical drugs includes liniments. Liniment means the substances mixed with alcohol, oil or soapy emollients that are applied to the skin. Ointments. These are semi-solid substances for tropical use. Paste. These are semi-solid substances but thicker than the ointment and are absorbed slowly through the skin. Then transdermal patches. These are special patches which contain medicine and absorbed through the skin over the extended period of time. Suppositories. Suppositories are gelatin substances designed to dissolve when they are inserted into the rectum, urethra or vagina. Inhalations. Drugs or dilutions of drugs administered by the nasal or oral respiratory route for the local or systemic effect. These are known as inhalations. And drops. Optic means in the eye, optic in the ear and nasal solutions that are instilled as drops. Now we come to the medication orders. The prescribing practitioner or doctor determines the therapeutic drug plan and convey this plan to others by initiating an order or prescription, writing prescription. Safe practice dictates that nurses follow only a written or typed order or the order entered in the computer system, where online computer system is working in the hospitals, because these types of order are less likely to result in error or misunderstanding. Under certain circumstances, such as in emergency, a verbal order from the physicians may be given to a registered nurse and that can be carried out. But when the situation becomes normal, these should be written on the orders or also in the nurse's notes. Now we come to the abbreviations used in the medicine orders. All of us should know these abbreviations. AC means before meal. PC means after meals. Ad lib means freely as desired. Like we can write in the ORS that ad lib as they can use, they can desire it, okay, as much as they can drink. BID or BD means 2 times a day. Cap means capsule. Elix means elixir. H means hour, and HRLY means hourly. ID means intradermal. IM means intramuscular, that injection is given in the muscles. IV means intravenous. IVPB means intravenous piggyback. Okay. IV solution, this is given by piggyback system. We will discuss in a separate lecture. Per means by, and PO means per orally or by mouth. PRN as needed. Q means every. Q2H means every 2 hours, and QID means 4 times a day. Stat means immediately. This order is given normally in the emergency, or when a single dose is sufficient, then the order is given as state. Okay. SUPP means suppository. SUSP means suspensions. These are liquid drugs. TAB means tablet. TID means 3 times a day, or sometimes it is written TDS. TR or tinct means tincture. U means units. HS means half strength, or sometimes sleeping time. So normally it is said that when physicians want to write HS, they should clearly write half strength or sleeping time at sleeping time. TIW means thrice a week. EOD means every other day or alternate day. BULL means boiling water, and BOL means large single dose or bolus dose. Measurement system of drugs. 5 ml means 1 teaspoonful, 10 ml means 1 dessert spoonful, 15 ml means 1 tablespoonful, 30 ml means 1 ounce, 60 ml is 1 wine glass full, and 120 ml is 1 teacup full. 1 mg is 1 by 60 grains, 4 mg is 1 by 15 grains, 10 mg 1 by 6 grains, 15 mg 1 by 4 grains, 30 mg 1 by 2 grain, and 60 mg 1 grain. And 1 kg is 2.2 pounds. We should remember these measurements. Now pediatric dose. Calculation of pediatric dose. Several rules have been devised to calculate the infants or children's doses by Young rule or Clark rule, but these rules give only approximately doses. Regardless of the method used in calculating the pediatric doses, the nurse should realize that doses are approximate and often need adjustment based on child's response. What Young's rules say? It says that we can calculate the pediatric dose by knowing the age of the child. So here we will write age, then age plus 12, and then adult dose. This will be the dose for child. For example, if the adult dose is 50 milligram, then the dose for 8-year child will be 8 divided by 8 plus 12, it will be 200 mg. And as per Clark's rule, it is based on weight in pounds. Okay. So if the adult dose is 500 mg and child is having 60 lbs weight, then the dose will be 60 divided by 150 lbs means pounds, and then multiplied by 500 mg, then the child's dose will be 200 mg. This is all about introduction of medication administration. In next class, we will study about oral medications. For getting updates about these lectures, you can subscribe the channel, like Facebook page. For making your notes, you should visit blog mynursingstudents.blogspot.com. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and join Facebook group Nursing Notes. Thank you. Have a nice day.